With pressure escalating after one of the worst weeks in its almost 15-year history, Tesla Incorporated raced to manufacture and deliver its mission-critical Model 3 sedan to burnish the numbers it's about to report to rattled investors. Tesla's Fremont, California, delivery hub was packed with people Saturday evening as the last hours of the quarter drew to a close. Red couches and tall white tables were set up outside, a DJ played music and a truck selling Vietnamese food was on hand. Behind the scenes, a company that's struggled to figure out how to mass manufacture cars implored workers to get production on track and prove the doubters wrong. The skeptics are getting louder after last week. The electric car maker led by Elon Musk came under regulatory scrutiny for the second crash this year involving Tesla's driver assistance system Autopilot, the latest of which resulted in a fatality. Moody's Investors Service downgraded the company's credit rating further into junk, citing the combination of production issues and mounting obligations that could necessitate a more than $2 billion capital raise to avoid running out of cash. Gene Munster, a managing partner at venture capital firm Loop Ventures who's been bullish on the carmaker, in a report Thursday after the company announced it would have to repair a power steering issue with the Model S wrote, "Tesla is testing our patience." When we heard the recall news tonight we asked ourselves, do we still believe in this story? Musk first unveiled the Model 3 on March 31, 2016, and hundreds of thousands of consumers have placed $1,000 deposits for the sedan that's emblematic of the chief executive officer's bet that electric cars can have mainstream appeal. From the looks of social media posts by customers who took delivery of their Model 3 over the holiday weekend, the company still maintains an army of true believers. Amanda Bell, a software developer in Nashville, wrote Saturday on Twitter, "2 years ago to the day, I put down a deposit on a car I'd never even seen before. Today, I picked up my dream car." Since starting Model 3 production in July of last year, Tesla has pushed back production goals for the car several times, citing issues with battery output and automating its assembly lines. The company forecast back in January that it would likely end the first quarter making about 2,500 units of the car a week. Tesla reports production and deliveries results within a few days of each quarter ending. Bloomberg is tracking the Model 3 rollout with an experimental tool that estimates production using vehicle identification numbers. The tracker estimates that Tesla is building about 1,190 Model 3s a week as of Sunday, though that figure may not capture a last-minute burst in output. Analysts are projecting total deliveries for the quarter of about 8,800 units, the average of 7 estimates. Bloomberg's Model 3 tracker estimates Tesla may have produced almost 9,300 Model 3 sedans in the quarter. The tracker shows an increase in production in the last few weeks as Tesla invited a limited number of workers from the Model S and Model X factory lines to volunteer to work on the Model 3. Heading into the final week of March, Doug Field, Senior Vice President of Engineering, urged workers to safely ramp up output to more than 300 vehicles a day and to prove a bunch of haters wrong. Barclays plc analyst Brian Johnson has warned clients to watch out for a potential burst rate bear trap, in which Tesla beats Wall Street's lowered projections for Model 3 deliveries. He estimates Tesla is producing 1,500 to 1,700 units of the Model 3 each week. Johnson wrote in a report Thursday, "We think it's possible Tesla may have stockpiled batteries amid Fremont downtime, allowing production to be higher in the final week. Any such beat is unlikely to be sustainable, and questions remain on Tesla's ability to sustainably reach its production goals." Safety concerns about Tesla's Autopilot are now deepening as the company faces a pileup of other challenges. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating a fatal Model X crash that occurred March 23 near Mountain View. Tesla published a blog post late Friday to announce that the driver involved in the crash had engaged the driver assistance system and didn't have his hands on the steering wheel for 6 seconds before colliding with a highway divider, despite receiving several visual and 1 audible warnings earlier. Brian Walker-Smith, A University of South Carolina law professor who studies self-driving cars, said in an email, "This is another potential illustration of the mushy middle of automation. Partial automation systems such as Tesla's autopilot work unless and until they don't, and there will be speculation and research about their safety." Moody's downgraded Tesla's corporate family rating last week to B3, 6 levels into junk, sending the company's unsecured bonds to all-time lows. Late Thursday, the carmaker recalled 123,000 Albanian Lex Model S cars built before April 2016 to retrofit a power steering component. Still, the answer to whether Munster of Loop Ventures still believes in Tesla is yes. Munster said, "The company is uniquely positioned to capitalize on a dramatic shift in the auto industry, as well as to innovate in both EV and autonomy, and usher in a new paradigm of manufacturing efficiencies."
Continuing the flood of crossover debuts, the all-new 2019 Subaru Forester was revealed at the New York International Auto Show on Wednesday. Subaru claims that the new Forester has the most spacious cockpit ever, and comes standard with the most technology in its class. Now in its 5th generation, the Forester gets a subtle facelift to bring its design language on par with that of the rest of Subaru's model lineup. More pronounced wheel arches and shoulder lines give the SUV a taller look. Its new LED headlights and taillights are standard on all trims. The Forester's new range of exterior paint colors includes Crimson Red Pearl, Horizon Blue Pearl, and Jasper Green Metallic, complemented by black or silver accents. The all-new Forester Sport trim level comes equipped with unique exterior aesthetic touches and contrasting orange stitching in the cockpit. The 2019 Forester rides on the Subaru Global Platform, which ensures a stronger chassis, less road noise, and a much more comfortable ride. The SGP also contributes to the new Forester's larger stature and increased cabin room, as the crossover's wheelbase is increased slightly to 105.1 inches and has 76.1 cubic feet of cargo space, up 1.4 cubic feet from the previous model. Subaru says the trunk is now wide enough to fit a regular golf bag in completely sideways, but the real question is, how many vape pens can you fit in the back? Every 2019 Forester comes standard with EyeSight driver assist technology, Subaru's driver assist suite that incorporates lane keep assist, lane departure sway warning, lead vehicle start alert, pre-collision throttle management, and adaptive cruise control into one versatile safety package. The fully loaded Forester Touring trim also comes with Driver Focus, a new system that monitors and takes action to avoid driver distraction and fatigue. Gone is forced induction, as the new Forester features an upgraded 2.5-liter Boxer engine, pumping out 182 horsepower and 176 pound-feet of torque, 12 more horsepower and 2 pound-feet more torque than the previous year. This naturally aspirated four-cylinder is only available with a 7-speed Lean-Artronic CVT, which features a manual mode with paddle shifters on the Sport and Touring trims. To showcase its outdoorsy personality, the 2019 Forester comes with symmetrical all-wheel drive that transfers power to the wheels with the best grip, paired with active torque vectoring straight out of the WRX Sport sedan. Other notable standard features include Android Auto, Apple CarPlay integration, automatic climate control, auto start-stop, welcome lighting, and a power locking fuel door. A power panoramic moonroof comes equipped on all trims except the base model.
There were many very cool debuts at this year's New York International Auto Show. Surprisingly funky stuff like the all-new Toyota Corolla, just don't call it IM hatchback. Expected but still notable stuff like the GMC Sierra pickup. Concept-wise stuff like the Genesis Essentia and Manic stuff like the Porsche GT3 RS sub-package. It was all well and good, but one of the most notable cars to hit the stand, in this writer's humble opinion, wasn't a sports car, or a concept whose name sounds a little like a variety of Japanese green tea. It was, like said opinion, an all-new take on the humblest of body types, the midsize sedan. Which, for all its humbleness, has had to withstand more than its fair share of attacks on the sales front. On one end of the spectrum, you've got compact hatches that are smaller but getting more practical every day. On the other, CUVs and SUVs that are larger but getting more and more efficient every day. It's a tough nut to crack, but Nissan feels the time is now for the Altima, which will be available with AWD and Nissan's latest engine, the variable compression, turbocharged 4-cylinder first seen in the recently revealed Infiniti QX50, and they make a pretty good case. Dennis Levolt, recently appointed VP of Nissan North America, said, "Our research shows that Generation Y and Z drivers are showing a strong appetite for sedans. And there's an opportunity to think outside the traditional sedan box." That's well put, and perhaps a little tongue-in-cheek because according to Nissan North America VP of Product Planning Mike Buns, the Ultima sedan silhouette is exactly what's attracting these General Y and Zers. Buns says, "These centennials and millennials can't tell you what a sedan is. They don't know what a crossover is, they don't know what a wagon is. But when you show them silhouettes of body styles, number one, and by a far stretch in terms of intention, what they'd buy, if they had money, the intention is sedan." According to Buns, it's almost as if the crossovers and SUVs have been too popular for their own good throughout the lives of these groups of people, and it's time for a change. He says, "We ask, why? It's I grew up in that crossover, I was strapped in as a kid there. That is a family hauler, that's not my stage in life, that's not me." Of course, all that's great, but it's smoke and mirrors if you don't have the tech and engineering to back it all up. In the case of said buying groups, tech is especially important, which is why both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come as standard on all Altimas, while Nissan's all-new ProPilot Assist tech will also be available. Those first two items should be pretty recognizable to most by now, the third, ProPilot Assist, PPA, a little less so. Essentially, what ProPilot Assist is the next step towards full autonomy. Activated by pressing a button on the steering wheel, PPA employs rear auto emergency braking, lane hold assist and an advanced adaptive cruise that can take you all the way down to 0 in stop-and-go traffic. The lane hold system, meanwhile, doesn't just keep you in your lane, but keeps you centered in your lane too, thanks to its following what Buns calls a virtual center line. It produces hair-raising events that have you coming too close to the lane marker to the point of almost going over it. Also under the autonomy umbrella is Safety Shield 360, which includes high beam assist, pedestrian detection, BLIS, rear cross-traffic alert with auto emergency braking and lane departure warning. It's standard on SV trim and up, which means everything but base S trim gets it. What will be available on all levels is AWD. According to Buns, it can't come soon enough. He says, "I've been fighting to get AWD in sedans in the US for 8 years, now one knows it will be a defining factor for the Altima." Similar to the Rogue system, it's an always-on system, which means it can go up to a 50/50 front-rear split if it's needed, and can fully decouple the rear wheels while cruising. That means AWD grip when leaving the line, and more efficiency when cruising or sitting in traffic. That's fine by us, and the fact that you can get AWD on all trims is a bold step, as only one other manufacturer in North America, Subaru, with the Legacy, does this after Ford pulled the plug on the AWD Fusion. Buns is quick to point out, though, that even that car was AWD only at top trim, which effectively removes it out of the Altima's competition bracket. Two engines will be available at launch, a redesigned Naturally aspirated 2.5L 4-cylinder good for 188 horsepower and 180 pounds-ft of torque. Both are figures than last year's model, that is lower overall, making for more aerodynamic performance, and the Ultima's crown jewel, a variable compression turbo 4 good for 248 horsepower and 273 pounds-ft of torque. That's less HP than the now discontinued V6, but more torque. That, of course, is only part of the story. Gunn says, the VC turbo engine is phenomenal because it gives you the affordability factor of fuel economy with the power of a V6. By automatically adjusting the engine stroke on the fly, Nissan claims you're getting the best of both worlds with this engine. Time will tell how much that rings true, but it's a nice start. A nice start is right. If you'll remember, there was an Ultima hybrid not too long ago, but it was short-lived, and the alternative energy reins have since been taken up at Nissan by the Leaf in North America. It appears that the idea of a hybrid may not be entirely dead, however. Nissan is already testing a new form of hybrid powertrain called e-Power, and have sold it to the Japanese public in the form of the Serena e-Power van and Note e-Power hatch, and according to Bunce, there's some real potential for North America there. Just not in the way you may think. Bunce says, imagine driving a Maxima that drives off the line like a P100 Tesla. Sedans have an inherent advantage over SUV-CV in terms of a lower center of gravity, better ride, and better aero, but Nissan has gone the extra mile with the 2019 Ultima by adding a steering rack-mounted electronic power steering. The car's even lower than before, and it's also wider, longer, and has a longer wheelbase, which has a few benefits. Bunce says, every time you push the wheelbase farther out of the cabin, you improve dynamics. So not only is there more room inside, but it handles better too. It's all coming up roses, isn't it? But is Nissan right? Is now the time for the midsize sedan to shine in North America? We'll know soon enough.